Welcome back to Motion 24, the only channel that goes deeper, digs harder, and uncovers the stories the main show doesn't want you to see. For nearly 2 decades, we've analyzed, debated, and watched the Roloff family tree unfold on television. We argued about Jeremy, Zach, Molly, and Jacob, about the farm, the divorce, and even Caryn. But all this time, we were looking in the wrong direction. Because now, a revelation is emerging, one so explosive, it could rewrite the entire history of Little People, Big World. According to exclusive insider reports and leaked court documents set to surface in October 2025, the Roloff family tree is missing a major branch. A woman named Sarah Jenkins, 45, has stepped forward. And she isn't claiming to be a distant cousin or forgotten relative. She is claiming to be Matt Roloff's firstborn daughter. And the most shocking part, this time it's not rumor. She reportedly has the paperwork, the DNA results, and certified documents to back up every word. The wholesome, picture-perfect Roloff family image may have been built on years of silence, and that silence is finally cracking. Each new piece of evidence is shaking the very foundations of Roloff Farms. Before we dive into the DNA proof that's turning the LPBW world upside down, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Motion 24. We are the only channel digging deep into the stories the network never wants you to hear. For over 25 seasons, the Roloff brand has been synonymous with overcoming adversity, family values, and the complex dynamics of raising a family on a farm in Oregon. We watched Matt and Amy raise 4 children. We watched them navigate health scares, dwarfism, and eventually a painful divorce. But what if the central conflict of Matt's life wasn't the farm or his health, but a secret he has been actively suppressing since the early 1980s? We are receiving reports that a civil suit is being prepared that identifies Sarah Jenkins, a nurse from a neighboring state, as the biological daughter of Matthew J. Roloff. This isn't a fan theory. This isn't a tabloid guess. The documentation attached to this filing allegedly includes a birth certificate from the early 80s explicitly listing Matt as the father, alongside a court-admissible DNA test confirming a 99.9% probability of paternity. To understand the magnitude of this, we have to go back to the time before the cameras, before Amy, and before the pumpkin patch became an empire. The timeline suggests that this relationship occurred prior to Matt meeting Amy, which technically means this wasn't an affair during the marriage. However, the scandal isn't about the conception. It is about the cover-up. The story that is coming to light implies that Matt Roloff has been aware of Sarah for 40 years. He allegedly knew he had a daughter, but instead of accepting her or even acknowledging her existence, he allegedly engaged in a decades-long scheme to keep Sarah's mother silent by providing her with off-the-books financial support. What we knew about Matt's role as a father figure is completely altered by this. In order to maintain his public image, he may have been deliberately keeping his eldest child out of the legacy he was preaching about on camera. The female protagonist of this narrative, Sarah Jenkins, is said to be the one who gets forgotten. The fame seekers who surround reality TV families are nothing like Sarah, according to insiders. Sarah has absolutely no interest in signing a contract with TLC. As a lady who believes a powerful person exploited her mother, she works as a healthcare professional and is also a private citizen. Justice and recognition are what she really wants, not a spin-off series. It seems that the completion of the Roloff Farms estate plans and Matt's handling of the land sale had prompted her to come forward. The public's understanding of Matt's infamous denial of his sons Jeremy and Zach's request to inherit the farm has traditionally focused on financial considerations, negotiating positions, and Matt's control problems. This new revelation, however, puts the whole tragedy into a different perspective. Would Matt's hidden firstborn have a legal right if he had given the farm to the twins? If so, why did he decline to do so? The estate would have been more secure if he had given Zach or Jeremy the property. Matt may have been attempting to avoid a huge inheritance dispute, which would have revealed Sarah's existence, by holding on to it, selling off parts to strangers, or maintaining the assets liquid. Legal professionals analyzing these disclosures are coming to the consensus that Matt's fear was a major factor in the farm dispute rather than his stubbornness. In Oregon, where there are rigorous inheritance laws involving omitted children, Sarah would be entitled to a piece of the estate if she could prove paternity. Sarah may have taken legal action against her father for seizing her rightful portion of the estate if he had sold the farm to the boys at a discounted price, claiming that he was taking advantage of their familial relationship. It all makes terrifyingly perfect sense now. Matt's erratic decision-making, his intransigence when it comes to his sons, and his shift to short-term rentals. In addition to being an uncooperative businessman, he was attempting to evade a secret that had persisted for 40 years. A birth certificate is only part of the proof. Amy Roloff is at the center of the most tragic part of this unfolding tragedy. The emotional betrayal by Caryn Chandler has centered the fans' sympathies for Amy's marital dissolution for years. On the other hand, fresh information suggests that Amy was a target of a more pervasive and lengthy deceit. At this point, the plot begins to veer into the realm of scripted thrillers, despite the source's surprisingly credible nature. Reportedly, Sarah herself did not provide the smoking gun that verified her tale. Rather, it originated within the Roloff camp. It was Marek who sent it. Chris reportedly found a box of intimate mail from the early years of Matt and Amy's marriage while assisting Amy in clearing out an old storage unit. This was one of several vestiges from Amy's decades-long relationship with Matt. Not only were these papers related to taxes, but they were also intimate correspondence between Amy and a friend from her native country. Allegedly, Amy mentioned a rumor about a baby from Matt's past in one of these tear-stained letters that date back to the early years of their union. She detailed how she confronted Matt about the rumors of a child and how he gaslighted her into thinking they were harmful gossip meant to destroy their newlywed marriage by swearing it was a lie. According to reports, Chris came to terms with the extent of the manipulation after discovering this letter. Matt had managed to stifle Amy's intuition, leading her to question her own reality, he thought, yet Amy had detected something from the start. There is a tremendous twist involving treason from within. Marek allegedly couldn't stand by this time, despite his best efforts to mediate conflicts and bring Matt and the rest of the family closer together. Chris allegedly made a duplicate of the letter after realizing that Matt had lied to Amy from the start of their marriage to the very end. Sarah Jenkins' legal team received that letter through middlemen. Since it establishes that the quiet wasn't coincidental, this document is vital. This continues Matt's habit of dishonesty spanning 4 decades, in which he knowingly and willfully lied to his wife about his daughter's existence. Matt can no longer use his inability to know or lose touch as a justification. This letter disproves both of those theories. It is clear from the letter that someone brought up, debated, and lied about the subject. As a result, Sarah goes from being a shocking revelation to a hidden victim. Viewers' perceptions of Little People. Big World's first seasons are utterly destroyed by this. Seeing Matt establish the family, construct the pirate ship, and discuss the future in those early episodes makes us wonder, did the daughter who lives just a state away cross his mind? Was his tough parenting style an attempt to make up for the child he wasn't really taking care of? Now that everyone knows a family member was purposefully removed from the picture, every scene, confessional, and family prayer has a tinge of guilt. The legal consequences are becoming more severe than anyone had foreseen. At first, Sarah's attorneys approached Matt's team privately in an effort to reach a settlement and get recognition for past actions. Still, sources close to the matter say that Matt flat out disputed the accusation, in keeping with his obstinate public image. Matt allegedly denied having any children other than the 4 shown on the episode while under oath at a preliminary deposition. A disastrous mistake was made. Reportedly, The referral to the district attorney has been initiated by Matt's denial under oath, after the DNA test and birth certificate were already obtained and verified. We are now confronted with a criminal inquiry into perjury in addition to a civil lawsuit seeking monetary damages. Part of the reason the show was so successful was because of the story of the good family. The Roloffs' unique combination of groundedness, faithfulness, and honesty served as the foundation upon which TLC established its empire. The show's premise was carefully constructed to conceal a paternity scandal. If this story is validated in court next month, this fact raises the possibility that the producers were complicit in maintaining this image, or that Matt has the necessary skills to trick them as well. However, Sarah Jenkins isn't following the norms of reality television. She has no plans to announce this during the season finale. Documents will become public record as she goes through the courts. As a first step, let's examine the DNA evidence carefully. It is said that the test results are conclusive. A 99.9% match is considered a successful paternity test. Here, there is no space for negotiation. However, there is an even more intricate emotional DNA. In terms of age, Sarah is 45. She supposedly received the very minimum to keep her quiet as her father became a global superstar, built a castle, and lavished vacations on his other children her entire life. That has an infinitely high psychological cost. This new information also sheds insight on the reason why Matt and Amy were so tense throughout the divorce. Amy frequently made passing references to Matt's domineering personality and storytelling skills. When she brought up the property or his relationship with Caryn, we assumed she was referring to those things. Evidently, she may have felt the burden of unspoken truths her whole life. Amy probably won't be able to forgive Matt if she finds out now that her 1980s gut feeling was right and he lied to her about the baby. How about the rest of the Roloff kids? Jacob, Molly, Zach, and Jeremy had always thought of themselves as a quartet. Their internal conflicts and affiliations are distinct from one another. Is there a noticeable shift in their chemistry with the addition of an older sister? The siblings, according to sources, are caught unawares by the rumors. Reportedly, Zach, who has been extremely outspoken about his disapproval of his father's actions on the farm, experiences a terrible feeling of validation. It was a characteristic, not an anomaly, that he turned his back on Zach throughout the farm transaction, since his father could do the same thing for 40 years. Matt Roloff continued as normal. In October 2025, timing is of the essence. This is in line with when the current production cycle is said to be coming to a conclusion. Rumor has it that TLC is rushing. Is this being filmed? Are they oblivious to it? Their knowledge and concealment would make them complicit if true. Their biggest star is soon to be revealed as a phony in case they were unaware. Leaks are popping up everywhere, despite claims that the production teams are on high alert and that confidentiality agreements are being strengthened. Matt Roloff's reputation as the farm patriarch is deteriorating rapidly. The monetary effects of the foundational deception should also be discussed. The financial repercussions of paternity fraud are as real as the emotional ones. If it turns out that Matt missold or concealed assets, the lowball settlement that Sarah's mom agreed to decades ago could be nullified. This is because the settlement was based on Matt's financial situation at the time. However, the concern regarding the inheritance is more critical. Matt has an enormous fortune. Leaving a child out of your will is not enough in many countries. Disinheriting them specifically is required by law. If Sarah is not named in Matt's current will, she has a strong claim to a portion of the whole Roloff fortune, including the farm, the show money, the residuals, and everything else. The persona of Matt Roloff changes as we reveal more of his past. He has evolved into more than simply the spoiled, goal-oriented farmer we knew. Machiavellian calculation transforms him into a figure, a man who could grin for millions of viewers on video while being aware that he had left a child in another state unattended. Every family gathering we've ever witnessed on the show is now put into perspective. Could he have been projecting his own guilt onto Jeremy when he lectured him about responsibility? Was his concern about the covered payments he was making on the side at the forefront of his argument with Amy regarding money? It is impossible to exaggerate Marek's significance in this. Chris has been Amy's rock throughout this ordeal. A declaration of war on Matt was made when he leaked a private letter to Sarah's legal team. This would indicate that Chris saw Matt as a moral danger in addition to a challenging ex-husband. Here, the audience stands in for Chris, who took it upon himself to uncover the truth rather than compromise after seeing the deceit and proof. From a domestic conflict to a media firestorm, all it took was a report to the district attorney. The actual tale, however, unfolds from the events that transpired within the Roloff children's homes and the TLC network offices. Now we're hearing firsthand accounts of the complete mayhem that ensued when word got out about the perjury charges against Matt Roloff. The family was falling apart in real time as the attorneys fought it out in court. The unfiltered animosity of a man cornered was exposed when a covered audio recording of a meeting between Matt and his newfound daughter Sarah emerged. Now we reach the most damning piece of evidence that has recently come to light: the diner recording. An audio recording of a meeting that occurred 3 months ago, just before the news went public, exists according to legal insiders participating in the future proceedings. At a roadside cafe off the interstate, Matt allegedly consented to see Sarah Jenkins in person after learning the results of the DNA test were imminent. He had planned on going there to try and settle the dispute. Sarah was secretly filming their talk for her own safety, and he had no idea. Watching what's on this footage is terrifying. Matt sounds nothing like the awkward, caring grandpa we hear on TLC in the recording. A coldly pragmatic CEO, he seems to be. When Sarah plainly inquired, "Why did you never give me a call? Do you really not care that I am who I am?" The purported reaction from Matt is astonishing. "I had a plan," he informs her. All three parts of the farm, the show, the family, formed a fragile ecosystem. Amy would have departed 20 years ago. The network would have spun it. And all that I had worked for would have crumbled if I had invited you in. I acted in this way to safeguard the empire. Give that some thought. He remained silent about his fear. Shame was not something he expressed. In his defense, he claimed he was defending the empire. A firstborn girl, he said, would be like adding an unknown variable to his family, his children, and his life's work. Reportedly, Matt loses it as Sarah cries and confronts him, telling him she didn't desire the money, she simply needed a father. Saying, "You have the money now," is what the audio records him saying. "The checks that I sent to your mom are with you. So you're looking for a dad? No, I am not a parent. You are endangering the project, and I am a producer." Any possibility of a compassion defense is utterly dismantled by this tape. Matt is shown as a man who sees interactions with other people via a transactional lens. It confirms Amy's worst fears and the boys' long-suppressed complaints. The show Little People, Big World was more of a production for Matt than a real-life experience, as this revelation makes clear. Matt Roloff's public career will come to an end the moment this audio is played in court or made public in its entirety. Caryn Chandler has also found herself at the focus of the investigation due to the aftermath. The extent to which Caryn influences Matt has been a topic of fan speculation for a long time. Here we are at the legal question. When did Caryn learn this information? What did she know? Caryn could be implicated in the fraud case if she knew about the hidden payments to Sarah's mom and assisted Matt in arranging them when she was the farm manager. She may face legal consequences if she helped Amy hide assets from the court during their divorce. They say Caryn is scared to death. A huge warning sign is that she is allegedly consulting with her own legal team outside from Matt's. If Caryn betrays Matt in order to save face, if she says that Matt directed her to conceal files or falsify records in order to keep Sarah's secret, then Matt will be by himself. He risks losing his freedom due to the same relationship that led to the end of his marriage to Amy. Roloff Farm's destiny is up in the air as we approach the judicial showdown in late October 2025. Building or having been completed, the grand mansion that Matt has always dreamed of rests on a bedrock of sand. Matt may be compelled to sell off all of his possessions in order to settle any claims Sarah may have against him for fraud and the inheritance. The irony is that the court may order the auction of the farm he refused to sell to his sons because they couldn't meet his price, and the proceeds might go to the daughter he denied ever existed. Standing as a symbol of an imagined past, the castle remains deserted. Keep an eye out. There is an ear-piercing reverberation as the gavel finally falls in the Washington County Circuit Court. What started as a rumor on the internet has now turned into a family tragedy, and the verdict has finally put an end to the Roloff legacy. Since rumors of DNA evidence began circulating, we have been following the secret daughter story closely. Yet the awful truth of the previous week was completely unprepared for. All the information about the trial, the devastating witness testimony that doomed Matt Roloff, and the tragic end for Roloff Farms is now at our fingertips. It turns out the diner tape wasn't the last chapter. The reality program seemed like a dress rehearsal in comparison to the courtroom drama. On October 31st, the trial started, which was ironic given that it was the height of the farm's once celebrated pumpkin season. Matt Roloff came into the courthouse alone himself rather than waving to supporters at the gates. The absence of TLC cameras was noticed by observers for the first time in decades. Just 48 hours before, the network had formally terminated relations, issuing a brief statement stating that they were closely watching the legal situation and had halted all production. It was as if Matt, the tycoon we had followed for 25 seasons, had suddenly grown weak and fragile. Who wasn't with him, though, was the true surprise. His companion, Caryn Chandler, was absent. Rather than sitting with the defense, she was waiting in the witness holding room once she entered the premises. A chilling rapidity pervaded the proceedings. No one questioned the DNA evidence that Sarah Jenkins's lawyers presented. Sarah is now officially recognized as Matt's biological child due to the 99.9% match that was read into the record. Establishing that Matt intentionally missold was crucial to the civil action seeking retroactive assistance and the fraud allegation. Amy Roloff proudly took the stand at the same spot. Amy verified that the letter that Marek had discovered was genuine in a split second during the courtroom hearing. Tearfully, she testified that in 1982, she had confronted Matt about the pregnancy rumors, and he had declared it was all a lie, swearing on the Bible. According to her account, Matt was more than simply a careless parent. He was a skilled manipulator who drove his wife insane because she suspected the truth. The emotional nail was Amy's testimony, but the legal nail was Caryn's. Caryn Chandler twisted the state's evidence in a way that caught everyone off guard. While Caryn was the farm manager, she was facing possible culpability for helping with financial concealment, so she made a bargain. While testifying against Matt and Amy for their divorce, she acknowledged that he had told her to classify particular monthly payments as consulting fees or miscellaneous farm expenses. She disclosed that the funds had been sent to an account associated with Sarah Jenkins' mother via wire transfer. Caryn's evidence disproved Matt's claim that he had become separated from Sarah. It demonstrated that he was trying to pay Amy and his sons to stay quiet while he begged for money in the divorce settlement. According to the sketch artists, Matt's expression in the courtroom when Caryn singled him out was one of complete and utter despair. He had prioritized her over his family, but now she was prioritizing her own survival above him. A quick decision was reached. The court determined that Matt Roloff was guilty of paternity fraud and that he had deliberately spent down his estate to evade legal claims. The district attorney is currently debating the criminal perjury charges, but the civil ruling was disastrous. A punitive damages award for mental anguish and deceit was part of the settlement that the court handed down to Sarah Jenkins. The award also included retroactive child support with 40 years of interest. There are millions of dollars involved. Despite his celebrity on television, Matt Roloff allegedly does not have that amount in cash on hand. Now we reach the last sad chapter of the farm story. The judge mandated the quick liquidation of assets to settle the award. All of Little People, Huge World's iconic locations, including the huge home, wedding barn, castle, and pirate ship, are currently under siege. Zach or Jeremy will not be given the reins. Jacob has decided not to buy. Both the debt and the assets are extremely hazardous. The property will be auctioned off to the public next month, as we have been informed. The land will reportedly be bought by a commercial developer who has long been interested in the Helvetia area, according to real estate sources. We have already submitted the zoning applications. A conventional home tract or a strip mall will probably pave over the pumpkin patch. Random people will destroy the legacy that Matt built by sacrificing his wife and his connection with his children. Silence is more powerful than any Instagram post when it comes to the Roloff children's reaction. The court-appointed receiver reportedly changed the locks on the farm after Zach and Jeremy made one final visit, according to sources. They supposedly said their goodbyes as they toured the grounds without Matt, knowing full well that their father's selfishness caused them to lose the house they had grown up in. Sarah Jenkins has kept her promise and declared that she will contribute some of the compensation to organizations that help foster children. "I never wanted the farm," she said in a statement. "All I wanted was the truth. There can be no truth on the farm because it was founded on deceit." Now that everything has settled, Matt Roloff finds himself in a very lonely position. He reportedly has severed all ties with his children and ex-partner Caryn, and is now residing in a rental home in Arizona. Shakespeare would approve of the sad irony. Matt spent his life terrified of losing control of the narrative, control of the farm, control of his family. In his desperate attempt to grip it all too tightly, he crushed it. The empire has fallen, the show is canceled, the farm is sold, and the secret daughter he tried to hide is the only one walking away with a clean conscience. This is the end of our coverage of the Roloff saga. It is a sobering reminder that reality TV is often just a polished veneer over a much darker reality. The cameras have stopped rolling, and the lights have gone out on Roloff farms. If you have followed this story with us from the beginning, thank you for watching. If you think justice was served, or if you feel pity for a man who lost his way, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the reality stars who think they can hide the truth. Goodbye, and stay skeptical. More update. Matt Roloff breaks silence about his sad breakup. Fans rip Amy Roloff's husband, Chris Marek, why? And Caryn Chandler moves away after Matt Roloff split. Amy Roloff shares special life update. I will explain everything. Matt Roloff breaks silence about his sad breakup. The recent split between Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler of Little People, Big World, shocked a lot of fans of the Roloff family. Matt only recently addressed the split after everything that had happened. So what did he have to say? Matt Roloff recently told his Little People, Big World fans that he and Caryn Chandler had made the decision to split up. Despite the fact that Caryn has never been well-liked by viewers, many were taken aback when Matt revealed the split since they believed the couple would stay together indefinitely. Caryn joyfully showed out the ring to Matt's ex-girlfriend Amy Roloff after Matt proposed to her, as seen by viewers of the former Little People, Big World show. In reality, a Hawaiian wedding was scheduled for 2024. However, Matt had a lot on his plate with his mother's care, so it had to wait. According to Matt Roloff, he and Caryn were friendly when they were divorcing. A Little People, Big World source claims that Caryn didn't want to be involved in the matter and that it wasn't as amicable as Matt made it seem. A recent social media interview by Matt Roloff touched on the subject of his split with Caryn Chandler. Matt told his followers that this split has been heartbreaking, and there have been numerous adjustments. When you merge lives for as long as Matt and Caryn did, it leaves a significant hole in your life when things go wrong this way. Additionally, Matt Roloff stated that he is going to keep moving forward. Preparing for the fall harvest season is one of the ways Matt is accomplishing this. One of the main selling points for Roloff Farms is that Jacob Roloff even said that there will be a market with different vendors that tourists could browse. Matt seems to be engrossed in his work as a way to keep himself occupied and divert his attention from his personal sorrow. Matt Roloff's recent admissions regarding his split from Caryn Chandler and his plans to continue with pumpkin season were widely shared by the Little People Big World fan base. Many admirers shared their views and thoughts on social media, with many of them encouraging Matt, who was grieving. "Wow," said one. "After hearing that startling news, I wanted to wish you both the very best as soon as Monday morning arrived. I hope Amy is still with Chris because I think he's the sweetest guy, and I truly admire him." Another commenter said, "Turn lemons into pumpkins whenever life gives them to you." What are your opinions after reading what Matt Roloff said? Tell us in a comment. LPBW fans rip Amy Roloff's husband, Chris Marek. Why? Amy Roloff, who became famous as Little People Big World, met her future husband, Chris Marek, in 2016. After meeting at a mixer, the two hit it off immediately. When Amy's divorce from Matt Roloff was complete, she decided she wanted to try dating again. After 28 happy years of marriage, Amy and Matt Roloff divorced. They were both so out of the dating scene by that time. Nonetheless, Amy yearned to return to the world of chance. Finding Chris Marek was a breeze for her. They have unquestionably succeeded after all these years. Matt, Amy's ex-boyfriend, is even Chris Marek's bro. After legally tying the knot in August of 2020, Amy Roloff and Chris Marek have been married for a while now. Their marriage appears to be flourishing and full of joy at first glance. Chris is now considered part of the family and has even gone out of his way to form relationships with the small children of Zach and Tori Roloff. Not only that, Chris has made cameo appearances in Little People Big World. In their spare time, Amy and Chris love to travel to other places, whether it's for vacation or to film a TLC episode. They took a quick trip to Ireland not long ago to relax in the Emerald Isle. Everything seemed to be going swimmingly with these two. But Chris has lately been the subject of some disturbing comments from Little People Big World followers. Many viewers of Little People Big World have recently voiced their displeasure with Chris Marek, citing his response to Amy Roloff's comments regarding the possibility of being sick and other issues stemming from her achondroplasia as examples. Chris gives off very suspicious vibes, as one admirer put it. He claims he won't be concerned unless there's a serious issue. And he smiles when Amy brings up the possibility of her becoming sick or having problems due to her dwarfism. Further commentary from another user said, "It's like he's in denial, but also gives off a dismissive, even gaslighty vibe." Some viewers of Little People Big World went even farther, saying that Chris had a sick desire and was actively seeking out a person with a disability. "That guy is creepy," added another commenter. "How foolish of Amy. I was born with a neurological handicap. It's a real thing." Some people seek out persons with disabilities for fetishes, while others do it to make themselves feel good about themselves or to abuse them. Chris is well liked by Little People Big World viewers, and not everyone believes he is trying to get Amy for some ulterior motive. Nevertheless, this does provide some cause for contemplation about his intentions. As the current season progresses, viewers will have more than plenty to think about. LPBW Caryn Chandler moves away after Matt Roloff split. In April 2024, Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler were happily engaged when the last season of Little People Big World aired. They ended their relationship after a year. He revealed the news on social media early this summer, after 8 years of marriage. Now that her relationship with Matt is free, Caryn Chandler is packing up and driving thousands of miles away from Oregon to her dream destination. Continue reading to learn everything. When the Roloff family was first presented to viewers on the TLC program, Matt and Amy Roloff were already married. As Matt, Amy, and their kids became a family and settled into farming, the show followed their lives. Amy's and Matt's relationship was tense. In 2016, they finally called it quits. Amy is currently happily married to Marek. Matt disclosed his relationship with farmhand Caryn Chandler in 2017. Many people still think that Caryn and Matt were romantically linked, even after Matt's divorce. After 6 years of courtship, Matt and Caryn got engaged in 2023. In July, he revealed on social media that they ended their engagement and parted ways. Many fans are interested in the reasons behind the couple's breakup. Both Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler have kept the intimate knowledge secret, but the fact that Caryn is no longer in Oregon offers a crucial hint as to the fundamental problem that led to the separation. There have been claims that Caryn Chandler grew weary of Matt Roloff, making choices all by himself without consulting her. He built a $1.4 million, one-of-a-kind house a few years ago and put the family farm up for sale. No, that wasn't the home she had envisioned. Caryn Chandler has moved permanently from Oregon to Arizona, according to the U.S. Sun. She traveled between the states a lot during her engagement with the LPBW star. Matt Roloff even bought a home in Arizona on their behalf. The insider claims that the vacation home in Arizona has already been put up for sale. After buying a new home in Surprise, Arizona, Caryn Chandler supposedly moved there with her daughter Brittany. Her son, Connor, still lives in Oregon. According to an informant, Caryn wanted to start a new chapter in their lives and had always envisioned retiring to Arizona, while Matt wanted to live on the farm. It was time for their relationship to end, the insider said, adding, she had many great years with Matt. The first kid of Connor was born in 2021, and Caryn became a grandma. She will definitely continue traveling to Oregon in the future to see her grandchild. Amy Roloff shares special life update. Fans of the family comedy Little People, Big World have every right to be curious about the cast members' lives now that the show has left TLC. Recent social media tweets by Amy Roloff indicate that she has shared some major life news. Then what was the point of her argument? With the end of Little People Big World after season 25, there are no longer any TLC cameras in the vicinity. Plus, celebs like Marek, Amy Roloff, and countless more don't have to change their lifestyles to fit their crazy filming schedules. This frees up a lot of time for the Little People Big World cast to focus on other projects. As an example, Amy is back in Michigan visiting her dad and other relatives. Lots more traveling and candlelit dinners with Chris are now possible because of this. Amy included, everyone has been making excellent use of their newfound spare time. Even though Little People, Big World is no longer being produced, many fans still follow the cast members' social media accounts to see what they're doing. Not long ago, Amy Roloff broke some significant news to her many internet fans. The fact that Amy Roloff is a substitute teacher at the moment has been revealed. Recently, she had the opportunity to interact with fourth graders. Every single student in Amy's class wrote her a note of appreciation. She thanked them, describing it as a sweet gesture that made her day. Shared a short video with the caption, "A wonderful day being the substitute teacher for a fourth grade class today." Amy Roloff informed her Little People Big World followers of her day's events. Greatness personified them. The Little People Big World community is ecstatic that Amy Roloff has finally settled down with a meaningful hobby. Her most recent video, which documented her school day, elicited strong comments from viewers. The comment, "They are so lucky to have you," was made by just one individual. Plus, "That's incredible that they did that," was added by another. "My daughter thoroughly enjoyed teaching 5th grade. Incredibly, they adore you." Another person commented, I really think it would be incredibly helpful for a lot of kids from different backgrounds to hear your voice read aloud from a series of children's books. It's so warm and friendly and comforting. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.